Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. So today is October the 29th, 2019, and what I want to show you here is how to propagate a spider plant. Now there's a few different ways that you can do this. You can divide them, but most of the time what you do is they're propagated by the little spider plant babies here. Now some people do call these runners. So what you'll need to propagate these is, you can do this two ways. You can use soil, which is what I'm going to be using, or you can cut these off and stick these in water and they will root. This is actually how this plant was given to me. It was started in water, and then I planted it in a container. So I have my soil here, and this is about probably about a 3-inch container, I'm gonna guess. I have my soil in, and you can see it's starting to put its roots out right here. Camera focus in, there we go. You can see the little spider plant roots here. So I'm just going to stick this here in the soil here, and I'm going to cover the roots up. Right like that. Okay, so you want to kind of nestle this in here some, and you can push some of the soil around it, and then go ahead and give it some water. Now for your spider plant, you do want a well-drained potting mix, and this is going to drain down here. It's kind of a little paper lock there. So it's going to kind of make some of the water drain down here. Sometimes when you put your soil in, if it's really dry, it will kind of refuse to take the water up. So you got to kind of move it around a little bit and get it to start soaking up the water. There we go. Now it's starting to soak up the water. What happened, I put this in this container a few days ago, and it was sitting on the floor, and the soil got really dry. Sitting on the floor of the greenhouse, and the soil got really dry on me. So then it kind of didn't want to take up water. So if you ever have that happen, go ahead and move your hand or your finger around in there some, and once you start getting it where it's not packing, then your soil will start taking water up, and that has happened to me before. Okay, so next I'm going to put a label in here, and have a link down in the description for these here labels here. I have the date wrote on it. I really like these tags. You can bend them and they're not breaking or snapping. So this has the date written on the other side of it for when I put this in here. And what the roots will start doing is they will start growing out into the soil. Now I could, if I chose to, cut this from the mother plant and just let it root in here, which it will do. Or I can let it attach to the mother plant and let it continue to get the nutrients from the mother plant, and it'll help it root faster and grow stronger. And then as soon as it's nice and rooted in, then I can cut it from the mother plant. So those are two options there. Now if you wanted to do these in water, what you would do is you can take, like this one here, see the roots on this one here, and you could put this over a bowl of water, or you can cut this off here and you can stick this part here up to probably about here in some water, and it will root out into it. Now when you root plants in water, they will produce what is known as water roots, and sometimes it can be, they won't always want to transplant as well as some of the other plants, but that is another option if you choose to do them in water. And some people actually grow their spider plants in water, but that's not something I recommend doing. Now if your spider plant isn't producing the spiderets or little runners, or another word for them is, I believe it's pronounced stolons, or the little babies, it could be a few things. One, the mother plant could need food. A second thing that it could be is spider plants tend to produce more of the little babies when they're more root bound in their container that they're growing in. Now you don't want them overly root bound, but if they're root bound, then they will produce more of the little baby spider plants. Another thing is if they're not getting enough light, if it's too cold where they're growing at, they won't produce them. So that's a few things if your spider plant isn't producing the babies off of it. So you can see the mother plant here. It's in a mixed planter. And, oops. Now, as you just seen on there, my hand caught the little spider plant and pulled it right out. So, another thing that you can do is you can take like one of those U-clips and you can put it on the stem right here, and that'll help hold your spider plant into the soil, the little baby, as it's rooting. So I'm just putting it back in and pushing it back down in. So that is something that can happen. If your hand will happen to catch it, it will pull it out. So we're going to wait for this to establish itself in, and then we're going to cut it from the mother plant. It might take about 3 to 4 weeks. It kind of depends sometimes on how quickly the plant roots in. Now you do want to keep your soil moist but not soggy. And you know, it's going to get the same light as what this one here, the mother plant, is currently getting. So I did do a video on my channel for how to care for spider plants and how to grow them. So you can check that out on there. And you can see here, this is one of my green and white spider plants here. Now the little spiderets are just coming on this particular plant here. So these are not ready yet to propagate off, because they're still very small. They don't have any roots coming out on them yet. This plant here is just actually getting ready to start blooming. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button that tells you to put a new video on. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'll have a link down in the description for my Twitter account. Thank yous for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye!